It's not good.
Good day once again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're welcome once again. Yesterday, we tried to talk about why do we read? We discussed about reading. Well, we did say that reading is the habit to understand what's contained in a document and make use of the knowledge for personal growth and development. That is, we read to understand, we read to classify, we read to get information, we read to retrieve, or we read for study. So when you read, you are reading in order to achieve certain aim or an objective. Maybe you read to pass the exam, or you read for pleasure, you might read for anything. So in other words, what we are saying is that when you read, you are trying to acquire information and to get many things right. So today we'll continue, and then I'm going to just to share more on the reading. So we'll talk about approaches to reading. That is, people preview. When you say you preview, you read to have a general idea of a text without reading the whole text, just like a paper set lines. When you skimming, you read only the main idea, just to look at it, just part of it or a paragraph in the text. When you scan, you know what it involves. This involves reading with quick eyes, movement, and focus on one location. Then detailed reading, that is the most essential, and that is one of those things that we do. We equally talk about the strategy for effective reading. When we say that before you read, you must have a prior knowledge of that thing to say, okay, this topic, it's just like when you are given a course outline in a class. And the course outlines means that this is what you are going to do in this week or this month or this year. So with that, you have this thing. Then after reading, to reflect on the idea of those things you have read, you want to say, okay, I've read this, you put it down, you'll be able to remember. And then we talk about the 3 QR method of studying reading. That is, you survey, question, you read, you recall, you recite, and as well you review. Then we'll talk about the advantage through reading: vocabulary expression, improvement language skill, expansion of knowledge base, exploration of new ideas, stimulation of imagination and creativity, memory improvement, and then strong analytical and thinking skill. Now, let's continue with the reading. We have talked about this, that there are some people, when they are reading, in most cases, when we say some people have a bad reading habits, it's me, when you are reading, in any reading, probably there should be a culture, there should be a thing, something that at the back of your mind, we have discussed about why are we reading? What are you reading for? whether it's for pleasure or for whatever reason, if you don't cultivate habit of frequent reading, I tell you, reading is like is an enemy to human being. Let me put it that way. Why do I say that? If you look at these books, most especially for students who are carefree, that they said they rely on what they don't have that good habit of saying, I want to go and read, I want to go and learn. The case is that when at the time he wants to pick the book to read, like I told you in our previous lectures, that books becomes your enemy. It is that time that you have a visitor that you've not seen for long. That the time that your friend from US came around, and you know maybe you're going to get $10 or $100. That books, you won't be able to read it. You can't meet up. You continue procrastinating till from now till tomorrow. You won't be able to read those things that you have to have read. So we now want to look at it that what are those things, what are the bad habits that didn't allow people to read? Why do we people are not really ginger their mind towards reading? You see, when there is regression, I said this is a practice of skipping back or reread the same information over and over. You get depressed, because when you are reading things and you are unable to get what you are reading, and some people say one is just reading, I can't just understand this thing. Why the grammar they use here is too, I don't know. I don't know. What do we do? You know, there are things that will not allow you to have that good habit, that will debar you. They will call them barrier to reading. Just as we are talking about barrier to listening and barrier to reading. There is barrier to writing, there is barrier to listening. If you don't focus, you can't listen to anything. And that's why I said there is difference between hearing and listening. You might hear and you are not listening. You just heard of it. Oh, I heard what he said, just leave it. But if you don't give your mind, you don't really focus on the reading that you are doing, is becomes another thing. Focalization. I say, or adopt good reading strategy. You understand your text very enough not to go back. If you continue persistent reading, always make sure that you have persistent reading. Once you are familiar with it, it's the book that will invite you. Even when you want to eat, you say, that is when they start calling that person a Vico. Hey, this one, leave him, he won't go with us, the party we are going. Even when you see him at the party, he will stick out, because his mind and is already focused. His mind is focusing on the book he wants to read. So, and that is why we always say that once you give it a persistence and constant doing, it becomes a norm. It becomes a part and parcel of you. And that is why you see people, you can, in fact, in the time past, you see some people when they are traveling, they will have a Shakespeare or a novel that they want to read. They want to keep themselves busy. They want to shift their focus from what is going on in the world. They want to concentrate. They want to have a, so they will see, they will be reading certain things and they are assimilating. You read to assimilate. You read to digest. You read to make things work for you. So when we talk about vocalization and sub-vocalization, in vocalization, your pronunciation and the words you pronounce out, someone else have heard, and you say, oh, this is the right pronunciation. No, like I told you about speaking. If you feel shy and then you don't get yourself bold to face audience, Most of the times, even when you are, how would we correct you? How do we say that what you are doing, what you are saying is not right? People that doesn't speak out or talk, you don't know their mind. So people are some people like that. I always look at them. Now, having said that, you read, you must be able to put some things down. Now, before I go further, I think we have done with reading in a way. Just at the end of what we did yesterday about writing. Why do we say writing? You read, you speak, you listen, you do a lot of things, but you're not jotting anything down. One of my friends, I heard him say something that even if I forget, the record will not fail. The record will be there. So, in other words, he's saying that memory forgets, records remind. Are you with me?
Sorry, sir.
Hello?
Yourself.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yotunde, can you please mute yourself? You are disturbing the class.
I'm not disturbing class. I am not talking. I'm not disturbing class.
Are you with me? I said, when you are writing, the essence of putting things down is for you to say, okay, even if memory forgets, the record is still there. By the time you put one or two things down, that reminds you that, okay, and that is why you see those secretary and those big men going about with diaries. It's not just for fun. When you see them carrying their this thing, they jot things down there because they know that memory you can forget at any time. Not everybody have that photogenic brain, and they have those quick reminding of things. They have sharp memory to say, okay, I remember. And that is why you must acquaint yourself with writing. You might not be writing it. There are people that do shorthand that say, okay, I want to. So equally, it's necessary to acquire writing skill because of all aspects of doing, writing is perhaps the most challenging. In fact, whatever you put down, it binds you, it's bound with you. You can deny what you said, but what you put down, can you deny it?
No.
Yusuf?
No.
We can't deny it.
Even if you tell Emia, which center are you from?
From Kano, sir.
Kano, yeah. Can you tell Emia, if you write to any of Kano, it's bind on you. You know that. But if if you talk and you say you didn't say it, so nobody can. They will say, even if they record your voice, you can say it's not me. But when you document it, it binds on you, and that is why writing is so important. Thank you for muting yourself. So when some people have started again, I muted them and they are still on mute, or muting themselves. This class, I've been telling you, we are on the air. I'm recording to the clouds, and everybody is hearing us on the YouTube. All this we are saying will be coming out, although it's part of the lecture anyway. But just to remind you that what you are saying is getting to the public. So try as much as possible to minimize your talk. When we say, why is it important to write? Why is it an essential skill? When you write, mostly you're writing, you write in order to make perfect. Some people might write, when you writing and reading, they are synonymous in a way. Because when you are writing, if you are not giving it, you are not used to writing, you can't write perfectly. You can't write correctly. You can't write effectively. So it is when you practice that you write and then you get a skill. You build your writing skill. But if you just write over this thing, you will not. And some people in the exam, they will write and people will not see what they are writing. If you give it a constant thing, you are doing it often and often. Oftentimes you write and read. Write and reading is always things that go, just like the picture I showed you in the introduction. Write and read so that people can even learn from you. People can see your handwriting. Not only that, you put you in trouble, because when you write like that, there are times writing put people in trouble. You know that. Those of you that knows how to write petition, those of you that knows how to write this thing, apart from writing, the writing skill that I develop is to write for people to enjoy not to write to criticize, not to write to put people in trouble. Because once you write, all those people that are writing, they write, and when people read it, they'll say, oh, this is what is happening. We write. What you are writing, you are disseminating a documentary information. You are writing to give an evidence of what you believe is. You can deny your speech. Yes, speech look informative, but at the same time, one can deny what he was saying. Now, when you want to write, I've been saying it. When you write, make sure your writing is clear enough. Write in a clear terms. Where people can say, okay, this is what he's saying, what he's writing. Then you learn from your masters. Read good writing works and learn basic skill. In secondary school or in our primary school in the olden days, I don't know how many of you that have a 2D. When I went to primary school, we have 2D. The 2D is for writing. You guys will be writing, yes. They will say, you must write from first line, you touch this line. This is where your teeth will cross it, you know. They will say writing, and we have what you call writing parts also. So when you, all these things are things that make you to know how to develop your skills in writing. There is a process of writing. It's a process of discovering as you discover something new when you write. So when you write, because the idea you are getting will be different. You look at what you are writing and you see that what I'm writing now is not in line with what is going. You write, when you start a writing, if you are writing a story, the story must be in sequential. You must follow each other. You must go as if you are writing to get some things done in a great way. So if you are not writing to be explicit, you are not giving idea, then what are you writing about? Some people, the only time they will write is when they have an exam. People don't write letters. Thank God for computer and for phone and all these things. They will just say text. That one is no more writing, it's text. But in a way, it's a means of writing because you are developing another communication skill. So anything you send, a text you send to me, once I have it, it's bind on you, whether black and white or through the technology. And in this technology who is that person talking about? I will get you now, and then I will continue to blackmail you, like I told you. Ambrose, you've started again. You did the same thing yesterday. We said you should mute yourself, and that's why you are not showing your face. You don't show your face because you know you are committing. Ambrose, be careful. So, in essence, we are saying that in writing, you may try to present facts, argue a point, persuade your audience or a particular issue. And why some people fail exams is that they don't, before you pick your pen to write anything, let me just say this because of examination sake. Make sure you read to understand what they are in what you want to write about. If you don't understand what is there, what do you want to put down? They set a question. They said, enumerate. People say, hey, this is a grammar. Read the sentence that follow that enumeration so that you get deep meaning of what they ask you to do before you start writing. But the moment somebody saw, you have seen that, oh, this is what he's saying. And that is why some of you miss the questions. They say, oh, I thought this is what he wanted to say. In writing, you are writing to get, to present facts. You are not writing to give people a sense of this thing that you know how to write. Some people, yes, they know how to write. They are good communicators in writing. When you see them, when they write, you will see with cursive writing and then informative writing, not just writing. Some people are just writing for writing's sake, and that is when you will be seeing it in their paper. Please help me. So you must write as a communicator. You must write to give information. You must try to make people to know that what you are doing, what you are writing is a fact. So definitely, what are we saying? You must have idea of the subject matter of what you want to write. Like I told you, a speaker who doesn't have subject matter of what he's speaking or what he's saying. If you are a teacher, those of you in education, you don't know the topic, and you are just, you get to the class, you fumble.
Thank you.
You must have knowledge of what you want to, you must be a master. You must have this idea of what you want to say. It is when you have the idea, in the same form, that when you have the idea of what to write, that is when you write and you achieve your goal in writing. Madam Ambrose, be careful. You have omitted, okay, don't worry, I will get you. Run away. So those are the people causing distraction in the class. So what are we saying? What are the types of writing do we have? We have descriptive writing, narrative, argumentative, exploratory writing. So under descriptive, you say most of writings are essay. When you say essay, essay is writing down things that you describe things the way they are. So when you say descriptive, it's an essay that describes details of what something looks like or how something happened. Narrative is an essay which tells about a story or conversation. It's a conversation in style. You just, okay, narrate the story for us. But when you say descriptive essay, those of you that did O-level, GC, and what have you, you know what it means. And there is a difference between descriptive essay an argumentative essay. In this case, you are giving us the, you are describing how in descriptive, you are giving how details, the details of what happened. Though that things, maybe you are there. You are the source of information then. So narrative and conversation are narrative are just a means of, maybe you are conversing, you are there when the conversation is going on, or you are telling a story. Argument
like that.
is an to
Persuade
the reader to accept your point. Like those people that are debating. When you write, write an essay.
Forget say me and the way me and this
arguing for or
I don't get mine. That time I will say go carry something. And what it makes me to deal with Stanley, maybe the way they talk to right now. Now because of the way.
Silas, Kitwa, Silas, you are disturbing this class. I always say this: you don't disturb this class with your you distract the lecturer, you distract the class. Please let us be decorum. Let there be some decorum in this class. So when you say expository's essay, he's talking about your opinion. He involved about evaluating somebody. How did how that person stands? You are giving an other types of writing is in form of when you write a term paper in the class. You write they gave you assignments. You write projects. You write for examination. You write letters, application, articles, speech, reports, minute of a meeting, memos, circular, and so many. Those are other means of writing. When writing and you are taking note-taking and note-making, when you read, like I told you yesterday, that you read and judge points. You take a note or you make your note from it. If you are taking note, is when you take note, you listen and write what you have heard in your own words. Get it right. That is note taking. Effective note taking will allow you to develop a better understanding of the topic you are listening to, because you will capture the key message in the word. Here you are going to just pull down the keywords and you develop it. Okay, this is what he's saying about this thing, and you put it. You are taking notes. But in a case where you are making notes, individual making notes during this, you create minutes for yourself. While you're engaging with the topic, you are doing, when you are reading or you are writing in order to make from what you are trying to elaborate. You are trying to say, okay, these things I can give more. What I'm telling, what you are saying now is not what you are going to put down in the exam. Also, even if your exam is going to be objective, all these things you bring it, just for you to have the idea. But you can elaborate on it. You can now say, oh, okay, you are getting things better. Now, how do you write? How do we do some writing? And where do we get how do we get writing? How do we start writing? The writing process. One, for you to write, you will choose a topic. There is no, anything you want to do must have at least a title. And that is why people have a name. Even when you say you are talking about title of a certain thing, before you want to choose title, you look at what you want to do. Okay, what is this? You see, just like you want to study a course, and somebody come across you, which course are you talking about? You don't know that course. That means you don't have a title. What topics? What is your problem? Which topic did you come across? The teacher tells you. In writing process, the first thing to identify is what is this thing. And when you see that in project writing, before you can get any problem, writing is like you are finding, you are investigating. Let me put it that way. It's like you are investigating certain thing, or you are writing to give meaning to certain thing. When you choose a topic, by say, okay, you said the dog. People will look at it. What do you mean by the dog? It is your expression. It is what you are writing about the dog that people want to see now. And it's something that should catch the audience to say, we have been seeing dog. What is about? And you are going to write about the dogs. And for you to write about the dogs, you collect a lot of materials. You go and see, okay, the head of a dog, how it looks like, the belly, the legs, the legs in the front, maybe you call it is that is his hand, because if you look at it from the back, you can't ask a dog to stand with that end. So that means you will be able to tell the audience that, okay, they say the dog has 4 legs. You tell them, no, it's true. Because the one where the head is, it is from your narration where you are. Then, because at that point you have collected materials, you start preparing your outlines. You put down, list the idea. Okay, you start joining there together. And at a point, when you write, the first stage is 1, choose a topic. 2, gather all information about that topic. 3, prepare your outlines. In this is how I'm going to start. I'm going to start with the head. I want to introduce that dog, how dogs looks like. I want to introduce these things, how it looks like. I want to show people. Then you prepare your outline before you start your first draft. After you write the first one, you revise what you have written, you edit, and before you present your final idea. So all what I'm telling you is for you to go and read more about the writing. Not that I'm going to give you everything. If you continue to say we are going to spoon feed you, I'm going to just to give you tips, and that is why we call it facilitation. We are introducing you into all this. When you say the writing process, before you write, you brainstorm and you put some ideas. That just as I said, you brainstorm, you look for other people's idea. What about these things? Have you heard about what about it? Okay, let me see. Before you know, you will have shown it to many people. You don't just write, and I don't see somebody, even Wole Soyinka, at times when he writes, he has to preview. You have to read over. You have to show it. Look at what I've written down. Is there anything? There could be 1 or 2 gaps that is there. And we have people whose major work is proofreading. No other things that they do than to proofread for people. And when they start proofreading, that is when people will know, oh, okay, this is my mistakes. After you have listed everything that you want to do, then before you can write down anything, there is one thing that is missing out, is get yourself a jotter. So that at this process, the jotter is what you use to arrange your relevant ideas in a logical order. So once you do that, by the time you present your first draft, the topic or the thesis, then you start writing, irrespective of the fact that you're writing, not to flow as expected. Yes, you look at it, rewrite, and even when you finish your exam, but before you drop your Bible, always read through. It is when you are reading again, new idea comes in. Something that you need to put again. And if you don't read through again, you just give it, I'll finish that one. And that is why in exam, you time yourself. In writing examination, time yourself. You are given 30 minutes to do this, to write this paper. Do whatever you want to do in 20 minutes. Read for 5 minutes. The remaining 5 minutes, use it to correct those punctuations and many other things that you're supposed to do. So, as I said, you revise. Process. Let me tell you that when you are writing, during the time you are revising and you are reading this thing, you are getting some things done well. Because at that time, that's the time you now see that, okay, I made mistake here. If you don't do revision, it's like you just throw everything in, and people will make jest of you. Look at what he has, what that person has written. So what we are saying writing is a process that people imbibe on. We imbibe and then do it. So in other words, everyone, whether you like it or what you read, you must be able to put it down and you must be able to get things done. So, like I've said, let us see, these are the basic steps that you need to follow. Like I said, when you have a title, then you put it, then the introduction, the sentence, that is the thesis, that is what you have there. I'm using your project as an illustration. Then you link the paragraphs together to make it flow. You don't start by talking about the head and then you jump to the tail. Where is the neck? Where is the body? Before you jump to the tail. So all these things give you the way you link the paragraph to each other, then you make all your writing to flow through each ways. Close. Any question?
Yes, sir. I have a question, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, the floor is open now. Let me see those. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead with your question.
My question is on note taking and note making. I want you to explain more on the two.
Good. When you are taking notes, like I said, if in a case where you are jotting down.
Okay,
You are
sir.
jotting down points. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Points that you jot down. That
Yes, sir.
make you to understand, okay, this is what he's saying. You are just taking notes of important aspect of what that person is saying. If making notes, every word that that person says or whatever he says, you develop something on it. Are you getting it? Can you see the difference?
Yes, sir. I'm seeing the difference, sir.
You develop it and in such a way that you make a note that, okay, you expatiate on what he has said. You have the key points already. Then you can now say, okay, on these key points that he has said, you can form your notes over that thing. That is, you go extra mile. He has just given you 1 point. You have added about 3 or 4. That is, you are making notes on what he has taught you. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Who else?
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, I want to know the difference between descriptive and expository essay. Hello, sir.
I think he's out of network or something because it's no longer online.
So could someone help me and differentiate between these two? Descriptive and expository essay before he is back.
Mr. Friday, over to you.
All right, let me help out. This is Fortune.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the difference between descriptive essay in a very simple term, you can say it's like telling a story. You're trying to describe everything involved there, the time, what they put on, what they eat.
Then how about expository?
Everything they did, you're describing it in full. That's the descriptive essay. Now, expository essay, it's like a long story. Telling a long story. When someone explained to me, they were like, in short, you're just telling a long story. Narrating a long story.
Now I'm back. Oh yeah, stop showing yourself, oh. Madam, take back your 80. I've seen everybody. So, oh yeah, let's hear ourselves. Yusuf, you are talking. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yes, what I am saying is, I want to know what is the main difference between descriptive and expository essay.
Scripting.
Descriptive
yes.
And expository.
And
main difference between these two and expository.
Yes, I won't say there is different and there. You know, you're still going to develop what you are doing.
Yes.
When you are trying to do expository writing, you are giving, it's like you have idea of what happened. Scripting is not idea. You just look at, okay, let me pick it one after the other. Just let me just, you want to be fast. You want to be fast to say that, okay, just write and bring things out the way, not the way it is. But when you say you are trying to expatiate on it, it's different from when you just script out ideas. We have it in your course material, and that is why
Yes.
So when you read, you get the keywords. We are just exposing you to how you can make use of yourself when you are in National Open University to write, and what the best skill you can take, because the next class will be on strategies to be adopted for learning. Are we
All right,
done?
thank you, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
Blessing Samuel.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. My question is about writing as a process of discovery.
So,
sir, you said writing as a process of discovery. When you write, that's when we discover many things.
the new ideas, yes. You know, when
Yes,
you are
sir.
writing, some ideas
Yes.
come up again that you want to develop and you want to add to that thing. It is true when you are writing that you see maybe you just want to write on my you want to describe somebody, but from the point you have, you only get that person's name. You only get that person's name, but you don't know him further. But as you are writing, it occurs to you, let me go and ask, let me check his background. Let me know his family background. Let me know him more than, I can't just write his name. He has not described him. He has not talked about his previous experience, his year or whatever year. No, you want to get more things about that person, because when you write, you are writing in order to give better information about that description.
Okay.
So, like you want to write you want to defend a case, God forbid, or anybody that have a case, you say, okay, by the time they said, okay, how did it happen? From there, you start remembering. It is when you are putting it down, then idea will come, and you discover that what you are writing is right or wrong.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you too. So, do we now say that we'll meet by 3:05 or 3:15 as the way we did last in the last lecture? Hello?
3:15, sir.
3:15.
Today.
Yeah.
3:10.
3:15.
Let's say, okay, let me decide now. 3:15. Ambrose.
15, sir.
Ambrose, yes, what do you want to say? Noisemaker.
3:15.
3:15. You can say 3:15.
3:15.
But when you come back to the class, start making noise.
3:15.
You guys should mute yourselves now. Mute yourselves.